Line change. Up the wing, Ryland Gould will deflect it into the offensive zone before heading back towards the bench, and Ethan Eskett will settle. Rowan Woodward controlling for the Victoria Royals. Coughed it up for an oncoming Carter Bear. Former teammates back in that 2022-23 season. Here's Van Hanen on the right side. Towards the net. Pad stop made by Eskett. And he'll hang on. Center. Has played 3 times against the Silvertips this season. 0-2-1 against the Tips in the regular season series. Face-off won by the Tips. Here's Bear towards the net. He misses high and wide. Bear coming off of a hat-trick performance last night. Out on the right wing side and carried ahead. Pushed forward by Ashton Brown. He's stuck against the boards, and we're going to get a whistle and a stop. He took 5 different minor penalties, yet scored the overtime winner in that final contest. Face-off won back by the Royals. Rowan Woodward on the left side stepping in. A shot that's off the glove of Legal into the near side corner. Interference officially the call against Smith. This PK brought to you by Murphy Triolaw. Vlooswick digs the puck out and slings it down the length of the ice. Victoria's power play this season, 16th in the league at 21.1% success, though they do have one of the best power play shooters in the league in Rowan Woodward on the left side. Up the wing, Moore touches it towards Runtso. Bounces off of Carter Bear, stolen by the Tips. Off the glass and cleared towards the blue line, not out. Ludovic Perreault holds the zone. Back to the blue line. Runtso has some trouble with it. And forced back out to center Moore, pursued by Shantz. Leaves it for Tim Runtso. In front of the cage for Victoria, Hayden Moore as both sides go for a unit change. Jackson Pisani to retrieve. Terrence Smith rink wide, finding Jackson Vaughn, who's ahead with Hunter Rudolph. Vaughn softly towards the cage and smothered by Eskett, and he'll hang on. Awfully tough this year. Face-off won by the Tips from the slot. Here's a shot by Dufour that misses high. Lands in the near corner. Hunter Rudolph throws a nice hit, shoving down Runtso. Puck pops free. Woodward out towards the blue line. Hit thrown by Ueda. Bouncing puck out towards the neutral zone, and Ament will guide it back towards Vlooswick. Looking for Ament up ice. Off his stick. Carries back into the Victoria zone. Possession to the Tips. 5:10 gone by here in this first period. No scoring so far as Mirko Dufour will give chase. Valkonen protecting, a hit thrown by Henry Ament. Pawed down by Vlooswick. Trying to push it towards the slot. It's won away by Runtso. Tips get it right back. A lead pass for Ament. Charging into the far corner. Lowers the shoulder on Valkonen. Leaves it in the trapezoid. Along the near side boards. Ament reaching out. Scooped by Hayden Moore for the Royals. Fourth line was a great energy generator for the Tips, and they scored their first goal, as it was Ament from Jackson Pisani last night in the first period when the Tips were down 2-0. Puck squibs back behind the Victoria net, picked up by Nelson. Over towards the corner, stolen by Shantz. He tees up Jamieson, dancing in with a backhander. Save made by Eskett. And Jamieson will take a shove from Runtso and from Newman as he made light contact with Eskett, following up his own shot attempt. 5 dividends for Victoria. Face-off won by the Royals. Valkonen protecting from an oncoming Bear. Worked around the boards. Miettinen reaching forward against Newman. Runtso off the glass. On the near side wing, scooped by Valkonen. Cleared out towards the neutral zone. Taken by Terrence Smith. Miettinen juggles the puck at the red line, holding on his backhand. Spins away from an oncoming forechecker. It's DuPont streaking in. Landon DuPont lost control. Thrown towards the net off the leg. Pops out to Bear. Towards the net. Save Eskett. Rebound is chopped wide by Van Hanen. That was a nice effort there by Van Hanen in the crease. Tips keep it in the zone. DuPont reaching out with a stick. It's swept out to the neutral zone, and Moore will streak ahead working against Bear. Rudig up ice for Nolan Chasko. Pisani through the neutral zone, in with speed. Pisani to his left. A shot by Kaplan, absorbed by Eskett, and will hang on. 8:23. Utilize their top 6. It's virtually every other shift they're trading off with each other, and occasionally you'll get the third, fourth line out there. But with only 11 forwards, you're going to be relying on these top 6 forwards an awful lot. Silvertips forced into an icing. The Royals have been doing some work calling up some reinforcements from the BCHL, and Silver is one of them, rolling puck round behind the net. And it is Runtso, chased from behind by Zach Shantz, out towards center. Silver to his left for Denilenko. Denilenko shoved down to the ice with a great hit by DuPont. This is going to be whistled. Is this a penalty against DuPont? Overall percentages may be towards the bottom of the league at 16th out of 23. As the Tips win the draw and clear it. You do have to be careful because they do have some tremendous weapons at their disposal. You like what Moore brings to the table. You like Woodward. Errant pass, and here's a takeaway. Van Hanen off the right side. His shot patted away by Eskett. Van Hanen gets it back in front for Miettinen and fanned on the one-timer. And Miettinen will sauce it back to the neutral zone. Long pass down towards the crease. Eskett moves it himself out towards center. Reggie Newman cut down by Matthias Ueda, plays it out to center. Runtso over skates, Miettinen in on a breakaway. Julius Miettinen stopped by Eskett with the leg pads. Out towards Perreault at center. He comes together with Carter Bear. Miettinen with a couple of great short-handed looks, and he just couldn't connect. Minute 10 to go in the power play. Here's Moore on the right side for Newman. Entering in is Hayden Moore. Again, a good reach there by Blueswick. 4 minutes left in the first. Here comes Gould on the left side, trying to get around the long body of Runtso. Towards the point, Terrence Smith shot through traffic. That misses wide. DuPont up the wing, takes contact from Perreault. Digging in the corner, lifting the stick is Gould. Finagling it towards DuPont. Back to Gould. And Perreault will settle for Victoria and start out to the neutral zone. Round behind the net, Raiden Legal keeps it moving towards the far wing. Gould. Lead pass for DuPont. He's in 3-on-2. DuPont to his left. Chasko shot just misses wide. DuPont was crashing the net hard, trying to find the alley-oop pass in the crease. Here's Smith in with speed, cutting to his backhand. He's stuck by Fryer. Fryer grabs onto Smith's sweater, jostles him around a bit. It will draw the ire of the... Pressured hard by Jamison along the far wing. Picked up by DuPont. Rink wide for Terrence Smith, trying to lead the transition up ice. Time in the entry well is due for a shot that misses wide. Valkonen will settle for the Victoria Royals. Banks it towards Woodward and out of his reach. Under 30 seconds left in the opening period. Over for Valkonen in front of his bench, looking on the left side. Trying to find Reggie Newman. Jamison. Face-off won back by Valkonen. Jamison reaching out as Runtso went spilling down to the ice. 10 seconds left, 2-on-1. Here's Shantz over to his left. Gould for Shantz. Turned out by Eskett. He's got it with the glove. My goodness. Shantz against Moore on the dot. Pulled back by the Royals. Held against the wall, and that will do it for the first period. Shots 15. With Jackson Vaughn. It'll be featured on the Silvertips Fireside Chat podcast, found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on the Silvertips social media channels. That'll be coming out next week. Played ahead by the Silvertips into the offensive zone. Eskett keeps it moving off the glass, and it lands in the neutral zone. Bouncing in front of the box. Round behind the net, Eskett. Miettinen in the corner. Picked up by Van Hanen. Pushed towards Bear. Backhanded down low, it's Miettinen trying to dig it back towards Van Hanen, pushing to the crease. It's Bear for Miettinen at the post. It just misses out towards the corner. Denaleko takes a hip check from Bear. DuPont over for Van Hanen. Back and come the Tips with space. Sauce for Miettinen. He's in. Pad stopped by Eskett. Loose behind him. Miettinen will reach for him. Again, you try to find silver linings. Might it be advantageous for the Royals that Legal has barely gotten any touches of the puck? Legal is a netminder who has admitted that he likes to feel it, especially early in a game, to get himself warmed up. Tim Runtso in his own zone, up ice, past Matthews, and this will be an icing against Victoria. Tied up and won by Dufour on the circles. Through the legs of Landon DuPont over on the far side wing. DuPont picks up, charges forward, joined by Amon. DuPont hands to Dufour, down low, a shot that misses high. Off the end boards, Denaleko has it knocked away from him by Rudolph, picked up by Schofield, and carried through the neutral zone. Stop it with the prone lumber that he had dropped out of his blocker hand. So gets the job done. Second unit on for the Tips. Here's Shantz giving way to Vaughn. Down low for Chasko. Swept back towards the circles and cleared away by Nelson. 35 seconds to go, and the penalty served by Perreault. Terrence Smith is out. Reese Jamison, Vaughn, Chance, and Chasko as Smith powering his way towards the blue line. And it's picked up by Eskett, and he'll cover, and a rebound smothered by the Victoria netminders. Again, it's another whistle that blows quickly when face-off won by the Tips power play. It's Rudick cutting to his left, teeing up Smith. Now finding Chance stepping in. Chance with a shot rejected by the legs of Moore. Scooped by Smith. Down towards the corner for Vaughn. Pulled back towards the slot. Chance to Rudick. Drop to Smith, one-timer. Deflected by Jamison way up into the netting. On their two previous opportunities, only one so far in the second. Face-off one back by Victoria. There's going to be another penalty going against Everett. On the right side, it's Hayden Moore as Ludovic Perreault was clipped up high on the face-off. Eli McCamey towards the net front. It's gloved down by Taryn Smith, and the Tips are about to head to a two that is well within arm's reach. Face-off one back by the Royals. It's Tim Runtso at the blue line over to Valkonen. Runtso stepping in. Valkonen to the goal line. McCamey. Woodward and Nelson will complete the five-man unit. Towards the goal line. Tuck-in try far side. Met by Smith with the stick. Miettinen towards the blue line. Not out. Runtso stepping in. Towards the goal line again. It's Nelson. Tips have Vluswick, Smith, and Miettinen, three rangy players towards the goal line. Nelson, it's just through his legs. Into the near side corner, reaching back is Vluswick, settled by Runtso. Runtso squares, blocked by Vluswick. Rowan Woodward right side. As Vluswick a bit hobbled, but he's out there still. Goal line, sharp angle look on the goal line, and LeGall keeps it in front of him. Smith, long shift for these two PK defensemen. Face-off won by the Royals. Runtso, right side. Runtso to the far circle. Fanned on the one-timer is Matthews. At the point, Valkonen down low. Rising shot off the crossbar. Runtso at the near side point. 45 seconds ago. Shot saved by LeGall. Towards the slot. Valkonen shot blocked. Rebound kept out by LeGall. In the near side corner, it's Perreault. Out towards Runtso at the circle. Runtso settling to the goal line. Out to Perreault once more. Poked at by Vluswick. Towards the point, Runtso. High slot, down low for Perreault, off a twig, towards the corner. 25 seconds to go in the first penalty. 40 seconds in it all. Diving effort, and Chance is able to get it out. Chance took a stick towards the face. He stays in the play as Runtso charges in. Runtso with 15 seconds left in the penalty. Out towards Perreault. Settling it back towards the point, it's Valkonen. Striding in, goal line, Woodward, tuck in, diving effort, LeGall, he keeps it out. Out towards the slot, Runtso, he's in, off the post. One man is out, it's picked up by Vaughn. He's in behind the defense, Vaughn will send it towards the corner, towards the net, he chops it high. Miettinen into the corner, slings it around the wall. Delayed penalty coming against Victoria as the final seconds tick away from DuPont. The Silver Tips kill the 5-on-3, and they will head to a man advantage at next touch of the puck for Victoria. And Bear trying to pull the trigger from that right circle in that sequence. That's how he scored 2 power play goals last night, part of a hat trick for Bear. Entering back in his Chance, gives way to Rudick, to the blue line. Smith snaps it down for Chance. On the outside, Rudick, as we're back to 5-on-5. 7.5 to go here in the second period. Behind the cage, Zachary Chance. Looking towards Rudick on the near side wing, crossing the blue line for Smith. Rudick, top of the circles, down low, out of reach of Chance and Vaughn. Ricochets out towards the point, good keep in by Smith. Chance backhands it, looking for Jamison, finding Rudick, stepping in towards the crease, kept out by Eskett, sprawling out with the left leg. Aiden got the better of Ethan, as Aiden was 40 for 43, Ethan 40 for 46, and the Broncos come away with a win. Right side, streaking towards the net, covered up by LeGall. Royals with a nice entry, they get something towards up to the task. Face off to the left of LeGall is won back by the Royals. And McCamey has it worked away by Dufour. McCamey holds the zone. Nice play trying to get around Vluswick. And a tag team effort there picked up by Hunter Rudolph. And now Vluswick's going to go. Draw to the left of LeGall. Picked up by Smith. And whacked up into the stands out of play. This will be off the glass. Hayden Moore again on the top, this time against Miettinen. Face off one back by Victoria. Runtso drifting over to his left. Stepping up Woodward. Finding Runtso at the blue line, long shot blocked by Van Hanen. Runtso gets it back, distributes to Moore on the right wing. Back to the slot, Runtso absorbed by LeGall. Face off with Perreault and Newman. One back by the tips, Terrence Smith. Up the wing, joined by Van Hanen Miettinen. Short-handed entry. Here's Miettinen for Smith. He taps it wide. Miettinen works it back over to Smith on the right wing. Smith will glide back out into the neutral zone, but ooh, that was a good effort there for a shorty by Smith. Long clearance down towards Eskid, who's got Miettinen right in front of him. An errant pass onto the stick of DuPont. Whacks it up ice for Miettinen. Sauces for Bear. He's in shorthanded. Bear cutting to the net. He's tied up from behind by Runtso. Good job by Runtso to stay with Bear stride for stride halfway through the power play. I tell you, this Tips kill has generated a lot of looks against Victoria. Down a man. Perreault on the left wing, spilling down his chance, finding Runtso stepping in. Runtso glove save made by Legault, and a beauty. If that's true, then the Canadian women's team is putting on one of the biggest hurt jobs that you've ever seen. That's unbelievable if that's accurate. Van Hanen on the left side up ahead with numbers, joined by Bear. Van Hanen fights off a stick, gets a shot. It's gloved down by Eskid. Their second Olympics. Face-off is won back by the Royals. Clearance attempt kept in by Ueda. Miettinen looking for Bear. It's over his stick and returned back to the Silvertip zone. Left aside the crease by Legault. Legault tries to keep it moving, but the whistle blows. Nelson Newman on for the Royals, a line that has struggled to generate shots on net. Picked up and cleared out by the Tips. Carter Bear on the right wing. Off the shoulder of Van Hanen. Bear forcing the issue into the offensive zone and poked back towards center where Vluswick will hold. Eskett fields the dump in behind his net. Stepping up his Runtso, an errant pass intended for Moore out of reach of Valkonen. Racing over, and he'll scurry it out towards the neutral zone. Scooped by Vluswick. Out him in the offseason after that campaign for Deegan Kinneberg, a fourth and a sixth. Face-off won by the Tips. Here's Gould with a long shot, deflected, and a leg pad saved by Eskett. Left at the blue line for Jackson Pisani, crossing to his right, Rudig. Dangling by a man out towards the circles. Pushed by Jamieson, round behind the net it goes. Rudig at the point. Rudig hesitates, pushes it towards open space. Gould tied up by Silver. Whacked up into the air. Jamieson has it in his gloves and forced out to center. Good effort there by Cade Rudig to hold the center ice ground. Valkonen looking for McCamey and deflected into the offensive zone. Poked at by Pisani, takes a hip check from Bear. And the Tips out of their own zone. Delayed penalty coming against the Royals. Here's Miettinen and backhanded towards the crease. Caught rolling puck towards Eskett and Terrence Smith. Faceoff is won by Victoria in towards the corner and cleared out by Reggie Newman. Newman and Moore out with Valkonen and Tim Runtso for the Victoria Royals. Here's Terrence Smith with Hayden Moore at his hip. A long drop for Chance over to his left for Chasko, breezing into the offensive zone. Reese Jamieson finds Vaughn right side. He's in, glove saved by Eskett. Rebound is loose on the goal line. Jabbing at it are the Silvertips, and it's reached back and covered up into the right of Legault. Faceoff is won back by Julius Miettinen, and Ryland Gould will hold. DuPont is fresh out over, replacing Terrence Smith. 5 seconds to go on the man advantage. Bear is halted by Caleb Matthews. A deflected puck is over the Victoria Royals. 0 for 3 on the power play tonight, though they generate plenty of opportunities.
The Victoria Royals are back at goal.
5 shots on the power play, but nothing getting by Eskett. The Royals will ice it just as their man leaves the box. Won by the Royals out towards the blue line, picked up and carried out by Max Silver. Trying to split the defense over to Woodward, cutting to the slot. Woodward fought off by Legault. Got it with the right shoulder over the net mouth. Lands in the corner. Runtso tries it from the boards, off a stick. It bounces over towards the point. Perreault towards the corner, Woodward. As Miettinen finishing his check on Valkonen, they'll be separated. And one-handed away by Carter Bear, a good play out to the neutral zone. Miettinen drops it at the blue line offside, as Miettinen was just a hair by Valkonen. And Valkonen will motion Runtso to go give chase as he heads back to the bench for a change. Newman, Moore, Perreault on with Woodward And Runtso, as he leads a man up the right side, Moore worked around towards Newman left wing. He'll take a hit from behind from Chance. Woodward under pressure from Bear. Picked up by Rudig, and Rudig will clear down the length of the ice. 45 seconds to go as Eskett active up the right side towards Moore. Backhanded towards the crease. Eskett again will turnstile it for a defender in Runtso. Chance took a hit up high as he bounced off the backside of Moore. Play is beckoned onward, and Chance is hobbled in the zone. He's slow to get up. It looked like he took contact right to the face, and he's slow getting back towards the bench. He's hunched over in quite a bit of pain. Right side, Moore across the slot. Woodward finding Newman at the circles. Back towards the slot. Runtso, he scores. Play was gestured on as Chance was hurt and slow to get back to the bench, and the Royals will strike a man up. Terrence Smith is irate and justifiable in his anger as the Royals take advantage. Frustrating turn of events for this Everett Silvertips team. They really have to bear down now. This is one where emotion cannot get the better of you, because now this is a crucial kill. Rowan Woodward up the left side, dancing towards the slot. Woodward broken up by Van Hanen. Back towards the blue line, Runtso. Over for Woodward on the left side. Woodward, his shot blocked by Vluswick. Out towards the point, Runtso. Over towards Woodward. Towards the net, pad stop by Legault into the corner. Out towards the point, Rowan Woodward evades Miettinen. Trying to slide by Van Hanen, lifted up into the air. Heavy hit thrown there by Van Hanen, driving a man into the corner boards. Out towards the point, it's Runtso, shoveling it for Moore on the right side, stepping up against Ueda. His shot deflected wide. And that catches the netting out of play with 1:03 to go.
Can't be taking more runs in front of the bench and costing yourself.
Defensive zone draw won by the Silvertips. 7 minutes left in regulation, and the Royals now with an opportunity to take a lead. Here's Miettinen in the corner. He'll zip it to the neutral zone for Terrence Smith. For Miettinen in his skates, poked away from Woodward. He'll start ahead, joined by Newman. Over to his right, a shot by Moore, deflected wide, rebound loose at the far post. The goal gets it with the toe. Tripped up in front of the net, penalty against Victoria. Face-off won by the Tips, hot into the hip of DuPont. DuPont to his right, Bear. Cutting to his left, he's up DuPont, a drive. Pad stop made by Eskett. Lively rebound out towards the right side, Brown. He's leveled by the hip check of Carter Bear in front of the penalty box doors. And Brown will guide it back to Odin Valkonen. Good hit thrown by Bear on Valkonen, but the Royals with possession at the red line. Reaching for it, Bear cuts to his left, in with a step. His shot deflects up into the netting, out of play. 6:06 left in the third period. And DuPont wires in his 12th goal of the season, just his second on the power play, but his 20th power play point. Out to the blue line, it's Cade Rudig. Into the near side corner, McCamey protecting. And now the Tips have a lead to play with for 4.5 left. Final 5 minutes are brought to you by the Plumbing Physician. Max Silver vying for the puck near corner. Picked up by Zachary Chance. Over to his left for Reese Jamieson. Across center, Jamieson into the offensive zone. And in offside. Over towards the slot, Woodward. Forced off the puck, and a good play picked up by Terrence Smith. Across the red line, he skies it into the near side corner. 3:15 left in regulation time. Odin Valkonen out towards center. It is Hayden Moore. One-handed into the offensive zone by Reggie Newman, protected by Ueda. It is Miettinen over towards the near side wall. Valkonen paddles it towards the net, settled aside by Raiden Legault. Heavy hit thrown by Newman on Ueda. And that is what Newman is known for, his physical presence. Here's a rush now for Bear over for Miettinen in the near side corner. Swarming for the puck are the Tips, but it's won away by Victoria. Hayden Moore finding Newman into the offensive zone. He's in offside with 2:37 remaining. Dropping back towards DuPont, finding the left side. Gould against Runtso. Gould lost his footing, picked up by the Royals. Eskett to the hash marks. They'll shoot it deep. No movement yet. Look out, loose puck in front. And Vluswick will tap it to the corner. That took a wonky bounce off the stanchion, and I think Legault had some trouble fielding it. It's cleared all the way down by the tips. Eskett will leave it in the corner. Minute and a half to go. Runtso has to shrug off Bear. Bear with a steal to the net off the outside of the cage. Bear tries it between the legs, turned out by Eskett. Nelson on the left wing crosses the rink. In comes Matthews. Hands off of the right side. Woodward finding Nelson. Glove save made by Legault. On to complete the six-man unit for Victoria. Face-off is tied up on the dot. Won by the tips. Van Hanen to the empty net. Bingo!